Hey guys, welcome back to A Little Less Lisa. If you are new here, my name is Lisa, and this channel is all about my health, wellness, fitness, weight loss journey. And today we are going to talk about my 6-month journey while on a GLP-1 medication. So if that's something you are interested in, then stick around and find out. Okay, sorry if you can hear the kids in the background. Hannah has friends over and they're baking a cake and Nick is talking with them. And then in addition to that, you may hear my husband coughing because he's sick and he's working at his desk in the hallway. And even though my door is closed, you can probably hear that. So anyway, during this video, I will go basically 4 weeks at a time because that's how I sort of did things on my handy dandy spreadsheets, as you can see. So I'll tell you the number of pounds that I lost each 4 weeks. I will tell you the average for the 4 weeks. I will go over my measurements for those 4 weeks. And then I will also show you pictures for those each 4 weeks. And then at the end, when we do a wrap up, I'll kind of show you before and after. So really like putting those pictures all side by side so you can see what I looked like on March 28th versus what I look like today, which is September 28th, actually, coincidentally. So yeah, we're exactly 6 months in. So, all right. So like I said, I started and took my first shot on March 28th. I started my journey at 183.8 pounds. I actually technically weighed a little bit more than that when I started filling out my paperwork to get on the medication, but I did lose a few pounds before the medication arrived to me and before I actually took my first shot. So I consider my starting weight, because that's when I first took my shot, as 183.8. I do take, just so you know, compounded tirzepatide. I have always taken tirzepatide. I've never tried semaglutide. And the maximum dose that I've gone up to is 5. So I'm not one who, has titrated all the way up. I definitely am a huge proponent of staying on a dose while it's working for you. So you will see here that, I never really got beyond that. All right, so for the first 4 weeks, I lost 15.6 pounds, which is an average of 3.9 pounds per week. Now, obviously, the majority of that is going to be a lot of water weight, a lot of inflammation, things like that. And, almost 4 pounds per week, yes, is an unbelievable average weight loss. But again, those first few weeks, you're definitely, like I said, losing a bunch of water and inflammation. So, and I'm sure probably some muscle along with that fat. And I think you'll probably see what I mean by that when I talk about my measurements. So let's talk about those. So for the first 4 weeks, I lost 6.72 inches. So my total inches and what I measure are my biceps, my chest, my waist, my hips, my thighs, my calves. So I don't measure under my bust. I don't measure my abdomen. I don't know what else I would measure other than those things. So for those measurements, I started at just slightly over 220 total inches. So I only lost, like I said, 6.72 inches during those first 4 weeks, despite losing over 15 and a half pounds, 15.6 pounds. So I really do feel like a lot of it is just kind of internal stuff that you start to lose. Because I think you'll see, especially as I get farther and farther along, my inches actually start really decreasing. And that's because I think I'm losing more fat then, as opposed to water or inflammation or muscle even. So in addition to the losses that I had in both inches and in weight, my first 4 weeks was really pretty smooth. I did experience some constipation. That was probably my biggest side effect, and it's still my biggest side effect. I do really try to keep on top of it. I found that if I don't take some form of magnesium on a daily basis, I get backed up pretty quickly. And so every once in a while, I will throw in a dose of Miralax, especially if I remember to do so. I usually put it in my clear protein that I drink during the day, but I kind of forget sometimes, and I don't always drink that protein every single day, as opposed to I always drink my protein coffee, but my protein coffee is kind of thick enough as it is, so to add another powder, I just don't want to do it. But anyway, so I do occasionally, I would say probably I take Miralax maybe 2, at the most probably 3 times per week, but I really do try to take a magnesium supplement. Now I generally take Mag 07, and generally what I do is I just sort of vary the dose on it. I think the actual dose is 3 capsules per day. So, you know, sometimes I only take 1, sometimes I take 2, sometimes if I feel like things are starting to slow down a little bit, then I definitely take 3. So anyway, but other than that, you know, my first 4 weeks was, I have to say, pretty smooth sailing. All right, weeks 5 through 8, I lost 8 pounds. So you can see it slowed down tremendously, right? I lost 15.6 pounds the first month, but the second 4 weeks, the second 4 weeks, I lost 8 pounds. So obviously 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I lost 2 pounds per week. Now I do have a note here in this that I got my first red spot. So if you are on any of the Facebook groups or anything like that, you will probably see, because that's where I went when I first got it. That's where I went to immediately, was to some of those support groups, and like typed in the search bar red spot, and quickly found out that I'm not the only one to experience this. So I did it in my right thigh, and I had done shots in my thighs before, and this was actually on week 8, or my 8th, I guess my 8th injection. And I got this red spot. It ended up being probably a little bit bigger, maybe than a quarter size. And it gets warm to the touch. And it wasn't initially itchy, but after like the first day, then it definitely started to itch. But then it just kind of dissipates and goes away after a couple days. Like I would say, I would probably see it, I wouldn't see it on the day I gave my injection. Generally, I would see it starting on day 2, and then probably by day 4 or 5, it would be gone. But just, you know, more of a nuisance, not really that big of a deal. Other than that, again, I don't really have anything really noted. I did forget to say that on my 5th week, I guess, so my 5th shot, I decided to move up. I think that's right. I gave 4, yes. So I did 4 shots of 2.5, and then for my 5th shot, I decided to titrate up. I felt like I was getting a little bit of hunger coming back, and because I hadn't like had any hunger before on the 2.5, I didn't really think I should be feeling hungry, so I decided to move up to 5 milligrams. That was a mistake. I was really, really sick that week. And I can see that because I ended up losing 3.6 pounds that week. Now, obviously it lessened and I ended up backing down in dosage. So I went back down to 2.5 after that. And then I did end up doing a couple of doses of 3.75 before finally moving up to 5 milligrams, which then was totally fine and I didn't have any issues. But that's one of the things I love about Compound, is that you can, you know, obviously with talking with your physician, you don't just want to do it on your own, you want to talk to somebody about it, but you have a lot more flexibility with your dosage, right? Because when you get it from the manufacturer, it comes in a pre-dosed pen, so the only choice you have is to take 2.5 or 5 or 7.5, etc. You can't do anything but that. So with a compounded version, I could take 3.75. I could have taken 30.5. You have a lot more flexibility because you're the one withdrawing the medication. So anyway, so other than, like I said, during that 5th week, after I took my 5th injection, having horrible nausea, the only other side effect, like I said, that I had during that time, during my 8th week, was, like I said, a red spot that I got on my thigh. Inch-wise, I lost 6.48 inches. So again, very, very close. I would, it's right in line. I lost almost 6 3/4 inches for the first month. just almost 6.5. So just a 1/4 inch basically difference between the two. So again, I think, and this is why I really wish I had done a DEXA scan when I started my journey, so I could really see what was happening to my body and where my losses were come. And despite really focusing on protein, and that was really especially because I couldn't get all my calories in and I was really not eating enough as it related to calories, I really focused on my protein. Like I really made sure that I was getting at least 80 grams of protein each day, if not more. But I still think I ended up losing quite a bit of muscle just because at the rapid pace that I was losing weight. You know, I've heard people say like 1.5 to 2 pounds is okay, but frankly, I would say really to shoot for more like 1/2 pound to maybe max 1.5 pounds per week. I think losing it more slowly like that will definitely, one, help maintain your muscle mass as best as you can, especially if you are focusing on eating protein and you're also doing some weight-bearing exercises and resistance training. But 3, I think that you will probably not succumb to the biggest issue that I've had, which is massive hair loss, which we'll get to here. So, all right, so yeah, otherwise, like I said, other than being super sick after that 5th injection or my first injection of 5 milligrams, I really felt, just really felt great and continued to have good losses. So from now on until we sort of start getting into when I first went into maintenance, which then I backed off of that, I will stay on 5 milligrams for the next few sets of 4 weeks. So week 9 through 12, again, 5 milligrams. And for those 4 weeks, I lost a total of 11 pounds. Now, during that time was when I was in Spain with my mom. So 1, we did quite a bit of walking. 2, I had a horrible week of eating. And I don't mean a horrible week of eating like I ate everything and more in the world and ate a bunch of stuff filled with sugar and bad, not great for me and no protein and things. I mean, not that. I had a really hard time eating while I was in Spain. 1, I just didn't really like the food that they had. And unfortunately, a lot of our meals, especially dinners, were like with our group. We were on a tour. And so I didn't have a choice of what we were eating. So I was sort of at the whim of whatever restaurant or wherever we were going for dinner. And it was pre-planned. Like you couldn't order from a menu. It was a preset menu for us. So I had no choice in what I was eating. And 2, it's really hard to find like good protein drinks and sources there. So I almost always ate an egg, a hard-boiled egg for breakfast, because all of our hotels breakfast was included. And I did try to find some protein drinks. So I was trying to do my protein coffee each day. And I did, in general do that. But unfortunately, when I look back at my Lose It app where I was tracking things, there were some days where I was only getting like 500 calories a day in. And so the fact that I lost, like I said, 7.4 pounds, now that was over like a 10-day period, is a lot. That's a lot. So by the end of that 3rd 4-week period, so weeks 9 through 12, I lost 11 pounds, like I said, for those 4 weeks, which was an average for those 4 weeks of 2.75. So you can see that for the the second 4 weeks, I went down to 2 pounds per week, which was definitely, becoming a little more reasonable. But then the next one, I went up to 2.75. And like I said, it was all a result of going to Spain. Now, I will say that the week after, when I came back and weighed myself for the first time when we got back, obviously I missed one weigh-in while we were gone, but that following week when I weighed, I only lost 0.4 pounds. So it did even out a little bit, but then that next week I lost 3.2 pounds. So it was a very big weight loss month for me, especially given the fact that, I'm in week 9 through 12 when I'm talking about this. I definitely got some more red spots. I was then kind of seeing that on a kind of a consistent basis, especially when I was doing them in my thighs. I think, get one red spot when I did it in my stomach, and that's during the next month thing. But anyway, so other than that, again, just not being able to eat while I was in Spain. Again, everything else pretty good. Was, I took my Mago 7 on the trip, and I took one dose on the trip while I was there. And like I said, everything, pretty good. There were times where I would experience some occasional nausea. I do have a prescription for Zofran that I was taking every once in a while. I haven't taken a Zofran in forever. I really have not had nausea in, oh my gosh, probably 10, 12 weeks. I mean, it's not something that happens for me. So, and as far as inches are concerned, for those next 4 weeks, so for weeks 9 through 12, I lost 4.81 inches. So now it went down, but I think you'll see the next month, I think, is where I really start going into like some big fat loss, because my inches go up dramatically that time. So yeah, so like I said, when you compare the fact that I lost 11 pounds, but I only lost 4.8 inches, I'm guessing that was unfortunately a lot of muscle mass. Let's talk about the fourth set of 4 weeks. So we're talking about week 13 through week 16. And this was the time where I hit my kind of initial goal weight. So again, things going well. I'm consistently taking 5 milligrams. And for those 4 weeks, I lost 6.4 pounds for an average of 1.6 pounds per week. So still, like I said, very, pretty well into my journey, right? I mean, we've gone 16 weeks now, and I'm, like I said, still losing at over 1.5 pounds per week, which is great. Continue to have some more red spot issues, and on week 15, so after 15 weeks of being on this medication and, changing my diet and adding exercise and things, is when I hit goals. I hit 143.8. So my original goal was to lose basically 40 pounds. I hit that on July 11th, to be specific. So yeah, that was very exciting. And then as far as inches were concerned, like I said, this is where I think I really started seeing my body change. And, hopefully, you'll see this, I think, when I show you the pictures, like all together. But I lost 9.39 inches during those 4 weeks. So that's a lot, to lose in 1 month. So very happy about that. So weeks 17 through 20 was when I thought I was going to then kind of go into maintenance. So I let myself lose a few more pounds and then decided, okay, I think this is where you want to maintain, or this, I hit my goal, so that's where I thought I should maintain. So I then, during these weeks, backed down to 2.5. I absolutely started hearing food noise again. I definitely felt hungry again. And those 4 weeks, I lost 4.6 pounds for an average of 1.15 pounds per week. So now I'm into the zone of, a very, I think, manageable and reasonable weight loss per week. And just to give you kind of a sense, I do have a note here. So over the first 20 weeks that I was on this medication, I lost an average of 2.28 pounds per week. So again, I think more than average. And it is now during this time, or actually I should say it was probably in the beginning of July, when I started to see some really significant hair loss. And I will say that it has not slowed down yet. Now, for inches, I lost 4.74 inches. So again, kind of went back down. That biggest, I think, fat loss was, like I said, in those weeks 13 through 16, where I lost 9.39 inches. But like I said, for those next 4 weeks, the ones we're talking about right now, I lost basically 4.75 inches. So yeah, overall, I think a good month. Like I said, I did think that I was ready to go into maintenance that time. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I realized that after one particular week of gaining 0.4 pounds, that I really wasn't ready to go into maintenance, that I really did want to lose some more weight, that I wanted to give myself a little more of a buffer to fluctuate than being right at that 40-pound loss. And then for the last 4 weeks that we're gonna talk about in this period here, I mean, technically 6 months is a couple more weeks, but I'm not really gonna talk about that because I'm basically in maintenance now. So those last 4 weeks, I went back up. So I had been on the 2.5. I was hearing a lot of food noise and getting pretty hungry. So I bumped up to 3.75. And then after talking to my provider, we did decide to try going back up to 5 milligrams to see if I would stop hearing the food noise and decrease some of my hunger, but also wanting to make sure that I wasn't going to lose at a rapid pace. Yes, I wanted to lose a little bit more, but seeing it more at a manageable rate. So for those 4 weeks, I lost 5.2 pounds for an average of 1.3 pounds per week. So again, a definitely more reasonable weight loss. And then since then, I really have just been kind of maintaining around that. Like if you watched my week 26 check-in, you'll know that I have set basically a range on my Renpho scale app. I use a Renpho smart scale to weigh, and I can set a maintenance goal, and you can put in a range of where you want to fluctuate between, and that's just what I'm going off of. I'm only really weighing myself once per week, and as long as I'm within that 5-pound range, I'm good. So yeah, and that's kind of how I'm continuing. So like I said, 1.3 pounds average for those kind of last 4 weeks in this, what equivalent of the first 6 months or so, a little less than 6 months based on the weeks kind of thing. And for the last number of inches, so I just actually measured yesterday, because I forgot to actually do it at week 24. So I lost 3.61 inches during those essentially it was actually probably 5 weeks worth of time. So overall, for 25 weeks worth, basically, I have lost 35.75, so 35.75 inches. I'll kind of tell you just where I started and where I ended for each measurement. Maybe that'll be helpful. So I essentially lost 2 inches off my right bicep, pretty much the same on my left bicep. My bust, I lost about 6.5 inches. I think that's right. My waist, I lost 6.5 inches again. My hips, I've lost about 6.5 inches off my hips. My right thigh, I've lost a little over about 4.75 inches off my right thigh, about the same for my left thigh. And my right calf, I've lost 1 inch, and my left calf, I've lost about 1 inch as well. So yeah, total of 35.75 inches. And in general, all the weeks really, except for those couple weeks where I titrated back down when I thought I wanted to be in maintenance, because I had hit my goal, my original goal. Other than, like I said, hearing some food noise, a lot of food noise again, and getting quite a bit of hunger back, like I said, everything has been great. I really try to keep the constipation in check. Really haven't had a whole lot of nausea at all over these last, like I said, probably 10, 12 weeks. And yeah, everything's been going great. So in general, I will say I have been thrilled with, my journey and my weight loss during this. Am I thrilled about the hair loss and, the fact that I'm now wearing crowns and or wigs, if you want to call them that? We like to call them crowns. No, but you know what? I'm really kind of past being upset about it. I can't do anything about it. I can't undo what I did in the past. Honestly, I'm not sure I could have done really anything differently. Like I said, even when I was on the 2.5, I was getting that like very full feeling very, very fast. So I don't really think, it's not like I went up to 12.5 and, could have backed down. Like I don't think I really could have done anything differently than what I did. I really focused on protein, but unfortunately I was, I guess, maybe one of those people that they call kind of a super responder, and I lost weight very, very quickly, and I think too quickly for my own body's sake. But like I said, I can't do anything about that now. And while it used to really, really upset me to see so much hair in my brush and on the shower drain, I'm kind of now, like I said, to the point where I can't do anything about it. I'm doing everything I can to, try to regrow as fast as I can. I'm taking, different hair supplements. I just started actually taking a pumpkin seed supplement, like in a pill form, because that's supposed to help block DHT, which I think is one of the things that that tells your body to shed your hair. I literally just took it for the first time yesterday, so obviously I'm not going to see any results as it relates to that yet, but I'm using a laser therapy as well to help, start the regrowth. And I definitely can see regrowth. I mean, when I look, up on my scalp, I see lots of little hairs, but, unfortunately my bio hair, what's left of it, is like down to here. Well, obviously the hair growing out of your head, it takes a long time to get to, you only basically grow hair generally like half an inch per month. And so it's going to take a while before new hair grows to a point where, it seems like I have more hair, right? So I have thought about potentially not buzzing my head, but like maybe getting like a pixie cut or something. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I think I may just have my mom's coming in a few weeks, and I may just have her just like basically chop off like 5 inches off the bottom, which is hardly any hair at all. But I think it would then feel a little bit healthier. I don't know. So, but like I said, other than that, and the fact that like I said, I don't really know that I could do anything differently. I'm really, really happy with my journey. I've just felt great. I feel great about where I am right now. I feel really great about being in maintenance right now. I think you can see, and like I said, I'll pop up pictures now sort of to show you like literally what I looked like when I started, and the pictures I just took yesterday to show you what I literally look like, a day before filming this video. So, and you'll see this video in a couple days from when I film it. So very, very current photos of me. Anyway, please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about my journey, if you have any questions that you think I can help you with. I'm not a doctor. I cannot give medical advice, but you know what? I've been doing this for essentially 6 months now, and I certainly have a lot of practical experience. So if I can pull from any of my own personal experiences to maybe help you, I'm happy to do that. So leave those in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. It does help the YouTube algorithm, and it really helps push my videos out to other people who might be interested in it. If this is content that you enjoy, I would love it if you would subscribe if you have not already. It does mean a lot to a content creator when you subscribe to their channel. If you haven't had enough of me yet, YouTube will pop another video up here in the corner that they think would be perfect for you to watch next. So just click on that. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.